Good evening and welcome to the special city council meeting. Today is Thursday, December 11th, 2025, and it is 6 p.m. City clerk, please take roll.
Yes, member. Councilmember Genoway,
Here.
Councilmember Winstead,
Present.
Councilmember Otto,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Jennings,
Here.
Mayor Johns.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you. I would now like to ask Mayor Pro Tem Kelly Jennings to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All rise.
Thank you. Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now move to public comments. Any person wishing to address the city council is asked to please complete and present a gold request to speak form. These forms are available on the counter near the entry door of the council chambers. Please be aware that the time limit will be 2 minutes for each person to speak. This is a time for members of the public to share comments with the city council on items not on the agenda. The Brown Act does not allow city council to respond to speakers at the meeting. However, city staff will follow up and respond to questions or provide information as needed. Speakers will be called in order from the request to speak forms. To allow equal time for speakers, minutes may not be given to another speaker. You may have another person read your written statement. City clerk, are there any requests to speak?
No, Mayor.
Thank you. Public comments are now closed. We will now move to the consent calendar. City clerk, are there any public comments on the consent calendar item?
There are none.
Thank you. Does any of the council members wish to pull the consent calendar item? Okay. Is there a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar? We have a motion by Councilmember Winstead and a second by Councilmember Otto. Please vote. Motion carries. Thank you. This evening, we have one public hearing item. Our public hearing item is to consider the appeal of the Planning Commission's approval of the Site Development Permit Amendment SP 9637A01, a maintenance yard renovation for the El Niguel Country Club. Now, before we move forward with this item, I want to remind those in attendance this is a meeting of the official city business, so public meeting rules of decorum are to remain in place. To maintain decorum, I would like to ask members of the public to please do the following. Complete a gold request to speak form to participate in the public hearing. Speak only when your name is called. Follow the 2-minute time frame limit for speakers. Refrain from outbursts or other inappropriate behavior that impede the proceedings, and refrain from the use of noisemakers or signs to block views. We request that this item be conducted in a professional, efficient, cordial, respectful, and civil manner. All attendees that wish to speak will have their designated time to do so. As it relates to process, this item will include a report by staff, followed by the opening of public hearing, then appellant and/or applicant presentations, followed by the public comment period, and finally, any questions from the council for the appellant or the applicant. I will then close the public hearing and further engage with the city council. At this time, we will begin the process. I will now ask Director Orduna to introduce the item.
Thank you, Mayor Johns, and good evening, City Council members. The staff presentation for this item will be provided by Associate Planner Daniel Keswick-Bajian.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. I'll be presenting the appeal to the Planning Commission's approval of Site Development Permit Amendment SP 97-37A01 for your consideration. The site development permit amendment is a request to replace the two aging maintenance buildings at El Niguel Country Club. El Niguel Country Club is located northeast of the Crown Valley Parkway and Camino del Avion intersection. The golf course is bifurcated by Clubhouse Drive. The aerial image on the left is from 1968, while the aerial photo on the right shows the present day. Established in 1963, the club is one of the earliest developments in Laguna Niguel and predates the surrounding residential neighborhoods. The maintenance area, shown in the bottom photos, currently includes two aging wood frame buildings, an above-ground fuel tank for equipment and golf carts, a pump house, outdoor material storage, parking for maintenance staff, and landscaping. The two buildings are over 60 years old and are in poor condition. The project consists of an amendment to El Niguel Country Club's site development permit to replace the two aging maintenance buildings, as well as other ancillary improvements surrounding the buildings within the existing maintenance facility. The new buildings would help utilize the site more effectively to better serve the club's existing maintenance demands. The new buildings will also be constructed from metal and include automatic fire sprinklers, significantly improving the fire safety for the site and, by extension, the surrounding neighborhood. The proposed maintenance buildings will be low profile and screened from the golf course by new fencing and landscaping. At their nearest point, the new buildings would be positioned more than 200 feet from the homes on Greens East Drive and more than 300 feet from the homes on Paseo del Niguel. No increase to the current operations is proposed. The daily operations and number of employees will remain the same after construction. The maintenance facility can be accessed by a 10-foot paved easement located between 30752 and 30772 Paseo del Niguel. The easement has served as the primary access point to the maintenance facility since it was recorded by the County of Orange in 1963. During review of the application, city staff were made aware of resident concerns regarding the access easement from Paseo del Niguel. In the 1990s, the easement was also the subject of a lawsuit filed by Ms. Linda Suquet, the owner of the abutting property and appellant, against the club. A Superior Court judgment dated July 14, 1995, affirming the club's legal right to use the easement is included as Attachment F to the staff report. Following review of the judgment with the city attorney's office, city staff informed the concerned residents that the city does not have the authority to prohibit the club's continued use of the easement. All construction access and traffic will be provided from Clubhouse Drive, with staging areas located on the driving range, as required by condition number 21 in City Council Resolution number 2025-1518. As noted earlier, no increase to the current operations or use of the easement is proposed. On October 14, 2025, the Planning Commission held a notice public hearing to consider the proposed renovation of the club's maintenance facility. After deliberation, the Planning Commission unanimously approved the project, citing reasons provided in the Planning Commission meeting minutes, which are included as Attachment D to the staff report. On October 27, 2025, Linda Suquet, on behalf of the Paseo Street Safety Coalition, submitted an appeal of the project approval by the Planning Commission to the City Council. The stated grounds for the appeal are included in the appeal letter and generally focus on three main issues: the access easement on Paseo del Niguel, the OCFA review and approval, and the use of a categorical exemption. After reviewing the grounds for the appeal and consulting with the City Attorney's Office, City staff found no issues with the access easement, the OCFA review, or the use of the categorical exemption. Supplemental to the appeal submittal, the appellant requested a refund of the $1,550 appeal fee. In accordance with the Laguna Niguel Municipal Code, appeal fees serve to defray the costs of processing and public hearing notification. The Laguna Niguel Municipal Code states that the city may refund a filing fee upon a determination that the appeal application was erroneously required or filed. Neither condition applies in this case. Additionally, the processing of the appeal, including the public hearing notice, in combination with city staff and the city attorney's office time, has exceeded the fee collected. Based on the administrative record and as summarized in the presentation and as detailed in the staff report, it is recommended that the City Council adopt Resolution number 2025-1518, denying the appeal and upholding the Planning Commission's decision to approve Site Development Permit Amendment SP 9637A01, subject to conditions of approval. It is also recommended that the City Council deny the request to refund the appeal fee to the appellant. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. I now open the public hearing to receive testimony from the public on this item. We will begin with the appellant. Please approach the microphone with any presentation materials you have for this evening's public hearing records. You will have a maximum of 10 minutes to speak total. That can be one person or multiple people to speak during this 10-minute period. All others will have 2 minutes when your name is called. So do we have anybody here to speak on behalf of the appellant? Oh, there you go.
Good evening. Mayor and council members. My name is Tisha Holbert, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Paseo Street Safety Coalition. I'm here tonight to ask the city to answer several factual gaps and missing safety documents within its own record for SP 96-37A01. These are not opinions. They come directly from the city's files. Let's also put on the record that it's been 44 days and not a single person has contacted this coalition with any questions, any factual information that you did not have. So it comes to question why we are paying for the appeal. $15.50 and there's nothing for it. My first question, where is the fire access and fire safety review? There is no OCFA approval, no turning radius analysis, no fire flow documentation, and no study showing how emergency vehicles could access a private residential enclosed easement 9 feet 8 inches that narrows inches between two elderly homeowners. How is this project advanced without those required reviews? My second question, why does the permit history show a required geotechnical review marked not approved? 2624, which was never disclosed in the staff report, the NOE, or the Planning Commission. My third question, why was it documented that there is a hazardous site, El Niguel Country Club, on the Cove Development Project, but on the El Niguel Country Club's own project, it is not listed? There are 2 list cases listed, but for some reason that does not come up on the El Niguel Country Club project. Staff is aware of those 2 projects, those 2 lust cases. My fourth question, why does the notice of exemption conflict with the application, the Planning Commission agenda, and the City Council agenda? For example, the NOE states no expansion, yet the city's own technical memo discloses up to 36 haul truck trips per day. How is this consistent? My fifth question, why was an elderly homeowner who did not file the appeal as one listed as the appellant on the official notice and contacted by staff yesterday, while the actual appellant received no communication for 44 days? My sixth question, why did staff issue a final recommendation to deny the appeal on December 5th, nearly a week before this hearing, before contacting the appellant and before completing the administrative record? And my final question, given hazardous material deliveries, gasoline and chemical trucks using a residential easement, elderly residents directly adjacent, and the presence of a high fire hazard severity zone, how did the city conclude that no environmental review was required? Thank you.
Thank you. Does the applicant have comments or presentation? If so, you have a maximum of 10 minutes to speak total.
Thank you. Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, City Manager Letourneau, and respected city staff. Good evening and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening. My name is Kimberly Wood and I'm here on behalf of the over 1,000 members of El Niguel Country Club. We want to begin by expressing our sincere appreciation for the time, consideration, and professionalism the city staff and the Planning Commission provided during this review of our permit application. We value our long-standing partnership with the City of Laguna Niguel. Our comments tonight are offered in a spirit of cooperation, respect, and shared commitment to this community. El Niguel Country Club has been a part of Laguna Niguel since before this city was incorporated. When the golf course was constructed nearly 60 years ago, there were no surrounding homes. But this land was intentionally designed to support the development of this community. Many of the families that founded our club also helped establish this city, and that legacy continues today. Nearly 600 Laguna Niguel residents are members of our club. More than 50 live in homes directly along the golf course, homes that were built with the understanding that course operations are an integral part of our neighborhood. We are a true community club. We host boys and girls high school golf teams. We participate in community traditions, and we support events that strengthen civic involvement and pride. For decades, we have maintained productive working relationships with the city staff, the County of Orange, Orange County Fire Authority, and regional water and environmental agencies. These relationships matter to us. We remain committed to supporting the health, safety, and long-term well-being of Laguna Niguel. Environmental responsibility is central to how we operate our operation. El Niguel was one of the first golf courses in California to convert to reclaimed water, and that was decades ago. We also removed approximately 20 acres of turf and replaced it with drought-tolerant landscaping to support regional conservation goals. Our course also plays an important environmental and safety role. Through easements, we take in stormwater runoff during major weather events, filtering it naturally through the creek system before it makes its way downstream. We also maintain lakes that serve as critical water sources for aerial firefighting. These water bodies have been used to protect nearby neighborhoods from wildfire, and these ongoing actions demonstrate our long-standing commitment to stewardship and safety. Now, our turf care facility is one of the oldest remaining structures in the city of Laguna Niguel. It was built nearly 60 years ago, and it no longer meets modern standards for safety or functionality. The building is beyond repair. It lacks proper ventilation, adequate storage, and basic code compliance. And most importantly, it no longer provides a safe, clean, or appropriate working environment for our employees. The purpose of this project is very straightforward. We're replacing an outdated and worn facility with a modern one. This project, as noted in the staff report, does not increase the number of employees, it does not expand the footprint of our current facility, and it does not increase the level of activity. It simply allows us to perform the same work that we have always done, but do so in a more responsible, efficient, and safe manner. El Niguel Country Club has been a committed partner to Laguna Niguel for nearly 60 years. We are very proud of our role in the community, and we appreciate the professionalism and care shown by city staff and the Planning Commission throughout this process. Our goal is simple. We want to replace a failing facility. We want to provide a safe and healthy workplace for our employees. We want to continue our environmental stewardship, and we want to remain good neighbors. Now, before I conclude this evening, I'd like to ask those in the crowd, as you can see, we have a lot of members here tonight, to please, if you're here in support of El Niguel Country Club's permit application, please raise your hand and support respectfully. Thank you very much. With that, I respectfully request that the City Council affirm the Planning Commission's unanimous approval of Site Development Permit Amendment SP 9637A01. We look forward to many more decades of partnership and community involvement with the City of Laguna Niguel. Thank you for your time, your leadership, and your consideration this evening.
Thank you. We'll now take public comment on this item. As a reminder, each speaker will have up to 2 minutes maximum. City Clerk, are there any public comments on this item?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, we'll first call Ruthie Sheffield up to the podium. I apologize up front if I butcher the names. I'll do my best, but I apologize up front.
First, I'd like to thank the City of Laguna Niguel and the City Council for the time you've taken to study and research this project. My name is Ruthie Sheffield, and I live on Paseo del Campo. I was president of El Niguel in 2022, but I'm here tonight as a longtime resident to express my full support for the rebuilding of the turf care facility. I just found out tonight that the Safety Coalition is claiming that they represent all the residents on the Paseo streets, and that is just absolutely not true. I'm not a part of that group. My large group of friends and neighbors on the Paseo streets, I don't know a single one that is part of that coalition. And if that is what they are actually claiming, my feeling is shame on you to the coalition for lying to the City Council. But more importantly, as a past president, I know the years that have gone into planning this project to ensure that the golf operations remain discreet and safe and uber respectful of our surroundings and our neighbors. And because this golf course is the longest standing and by far most important asset to our city, as a responsible and caring citizen of Laguna Niguel, I ask that you please tonight approve this project. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now call Monica Herbert up.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Monique Hebert, and I live on Paseo del Valle. I brought my children tonight because I want them to see what it means to stand up for what matters, to speak honestly and act with integrity, even when it's uncomfortable. I want to be very clear. The Paseo Street Safety Coalition does not speak for me or for many of us who live along the golf course, many of whom are here tonight supporting the permit. For 18 months, this small group has exaggerated concerns when it suits them and ignored reality when it doesn't. Some of these same voices are perfectly comfortable enjoying the club privately, even having their child play at El Miguel, while speaking out against improvements publicly. That contradiction leaves us questioning their true motives. Those of us who live here, who walk this community, who see the workers arrive and leave every day, know the truth. The easement has been used safely and legally for decades. The only safety issue comes from barriers intentionally placed by them to block access. And frankly, that goes against the spirit of Laguna Niguel. If safety were the real concern, attention would be on actual neighborhood issues, like the sober living home on the same street, not a long-used legal easement. Instead, this small minority is making life harder for the workers and all of us that believe in making our city better. El Niguel Country Club has added value to our homes, enhanced our quality of life, created jobs, and strengthened Laguna Niguel's reputation for decades. We owe it to the community to replace this outdated, aging facility with one that is modern, safe, and environmentally responsible. I respectfully urge you to affirm the Planning Commission's unanimous approval and allow this long overdue project to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll call Marilyn Zenner. Marilyn Zenner.
Hello, City Council. Thanks for having us. You know, I don't know if I'm part of a coalition. I'm part of the neighborhood where the trucks come rumbling down the street. And I have no problem with updating the facility and the golf club. I think the golf club is an asset to the city. They have wonderful employees who work there. We were members for a while. It's great. And they should have an updated maintenance facility. But the problem is the access road, which was they were granted access to back in 1963, was a long time ago. Laguna Niguel was a sleepy little town. There might have been 2 or 3 houses on Paseo del Niguel at that time. Most of the houses were built in the 70s. So, I mean, it kind of grew up, and it's really outgrown the neighborhood as far as the access road goes. I have pictures of big, giant trucks trying to squeeze through that 10-foot wide access road, and even narrows down to 9 feet 8 inches in some areas. And I looked it up on AI, and tanker trucks are like 20 feet wide or no, I'm sorry, 15 feet wide, 12 feet wide. They only have 3 inches on each side, is what I'm trying to say. You could, anyway, 20 feet. And so there's just not enough room. There's not enough room for them to scooch in there. And then the 2 ladies that own their houses there, they've lived there for many years. They're neighbors. They're neighbors of all you people. And they graciously granted access to the utility company back in the 60s when that they created the access road. It was for Molten Miguel water, if you look it up. And now it's just for all the employees who come to work there. It's for all these delivery trucks, fire trucks.
Thank you. Your time has expired. Tish Hobart. Hold on one second, please.
The appellant had already spoken as
Correct.
part of the appeal.
Correct. So she doesn't get to speak again?
No.
Okay, sorry, Tish. Okay, we'll move on to Catherine DeYoung.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. It's been a minute. I am proud to be here in the city of Laguna Niguel. I have been a member of El Niguel for 35 years plus, and actually served on the city of Laguna Niguel on the Parks Commission, the Planning Commission, the Environmental Review Board, and 8 years on the City Council, including I was honored to be mayor. We are so thankful to have you as council members and mayor. Our city staff, and I do say our city staff, has always been beloved throughout Orange County and highly, highly respected. I just want to add 2 points. El Niguel has had a long relationship, supportive relationship of the city of Laguna Niguel. When water quality was an issue back in the late 1990s, El Niguel stepped up. El Niguel has made an extensive amount of work to make this project, this practice facility, this maintenance facility work for the residents and work for El Niguel. I have never seen a project more thoroughly vetted than this project. It's unbelievable. They even went on their own and did an environmental work analysis, which showed that there are no environmental issues here. Finally, in terms of the fire authority point, I would just like to point out that there is a massive city street which fire trucks can go down. So there is no harm to the residents when they talked about the width of the easement. Fire trucks can go down the city streets, can easily take care of any problem that arose to those neighbors. So with that being said, I just want to thank you.
Thank you. Linda Suket. Linda. Suket. Second.
Everybody. My name is Linda Suket, and I just wanted to make a correction when Daniel said that, first of all, I own the 10-feet easement. Been here for 47 years, built our house. My husband, who passed away last year, was a member of El Niguel, charter member. He was one of the first and remained until he passed on to our daughter now. At any rate, the correction I wanted to make was in 1963, and when we received our title, there was Molten Miguel water. It didn't say anything about El Niguel Country Club. Nancy Williams sued the club for the nuisance. I didn't. The club turned around and sued me because I owed the bulk of the easement. I said, just show me where you have a right to use it, and there's no argument. But they couldn't show me anything. There was no documentation that they owned that easement. So therefore, they took a prescriptive easement to it. So when we bought our lot, we did not have an easement for El Niguel Country Club on it. There was nothing in the title report. And 363 days a year, there are people going in and out of that road all day long. They come in the morning as early as 4 something, and I love these people. I love Matt, I love Kimberly. These are wonderful people at the club. I've been a part of that for a long time, and now I'm in a tough position because I care about them, but I care about my neighbors who spent $3 million or more for homes and have to watch a tanker truck go down or a garbage truck or all these different things that, how many tanker fires were there last year across the country? 4 that I know of. And it's tight, it's very tight. So as I said, and as far as the increase, some of
Thank you. Your time's up. Sorry. City Clerk, do we have any additional?
No, Mayor.
Thank you. I will now ask my city council colleagues if there are any questions for the appellant or the applicant. Okay. Oh, you have
I'll
one?
go.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
No.
didn't realize you wanted one. Okay, you don't? Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, thank you. The public hearing is now closed. I will now take any remaining discussion from the council.
All right.
Let's start with Councilmember Winstead. Yes, absolutely.
Sorry, I was anxious because I had some questions, but the questions are not for the applicant or the appellant. They're actually for the deputy city attorney. So, and I've reviewed all of the documents and even the judgment by the court that was issued July 14th, 1995 concerning the easement. And I just want to confirm, are there any legal restrictions on El Niguel Country Club's use of that easement to date?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, it's.
I'm sorry, I guess
Well,
my
be
question
more
more
specific?
specifically maybe to help you out is
Yeah.
that what I'm looking for is in reading the hearing or the judgment by the court and reading the legal description, those are typically places where you would see whether or not there's restrictions on the use, that it's only for certain size vehicles or something like that.
Well, what
Is there a legal restriction on the types of vehicles that can use that easement?
No.
Okay, thank
No.
you. And then also I understand some of the confusion in that there's a lot of discussion regarding the easement. But this is a permit for a maintenance yard. And now granted, in attachment B, the applicant's project description letter, section 1.2.5 in construction activities, it states that some construction traffic will utilize the existing accent easement off of Paseo del Niguel. So my understanding in reading other documents is that that's not true, and whether it's for deputy city attorney or another member of staff, I just want to confirm that whether or not that's true. Would construction vehicles be utilized as mentioned here? Now granted, this was some time ago, or in the most recent documents stating that it's going to be, the construction is actually going to be at the driving range.
Okay. I believe Katie Crockett, the planning manager, can answer that.
That's correct. So the attachment that you're referring to, that's from the Planning Commission packet, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and can you tell me the number that you just stated?
1.2.5 says construction activities, and that's actually in it's attachment B, applicant's project description
Yes.
letter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but the actual construction traffic will not be utilizing the easement. During construction, The employees and the trucks that already are using it as a matter of normal operations will continue to use the easement. Construction traffic will be entirely routed off of Clubhouse Drive.
Okay, so it will not, whether or not this permit is approved will not impact the current use of that easement.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. And then also, will the club's future operations change the use of the easement?
No.
Okay, thank you. And also, because this has been judicially determined regarding the easement 30 years ago, this might be a question for the deputy city attorney, but it's my understanding that the city doesn't have any authority to prohibit the club's continued use of this longstanding easement. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I might have some other questions, but I'm going to push pause for now. Thanks.
And we'll go to Councilmember Ray Genoway.
Thank you. Deputy City Attorney, just to say it another way, we have no jurisdiction to change the rights and responsibilities of that easement, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So nothing we do tonight is going to have any effect on the rights of El Niguel Country Club with regard to that easement.
That's correct.
Okay, and I believe I see in the staff report, if anybody wants to take a look, it's on page 228 of the PDF of our staff report. It's the judgment from 1995 in the case of Linda Sukit versus El Niguel Country Club, where it says, it is ordered, adjudged, and decreed that El Niguel Country Club has a non-exclusive easement and right-of-way by express reservation through and across the following described real property, and it goes on to describe the property which has been talked about so much throughout this process. So if anybody wants to take a look at that, I really think that we're spending so much time talking about an easement when we have absolutely no jurisdiction over it. If you want to change the rights and responsibilities of that easement, you got to go to an Orange County Superior Court judge and ask them to review the matter and receive a judicial determination. But there's nothing we can do here tonight with regard to that easement. So I think that's just an issue that is really a non-issue with regard to this appeal here tonight. Individuals have property rights, and those property rights have to be adhered to, and those property rights do not change just because the population of a community grows. And so El Niguel is within their right to use that easement and to use the property and to renovate the two buildings, which it seems like they do need renovation. I think it's a good-looking renovation. It increases fire safety. As I understand, it's also going to provide an electric fleet of vehicles, which is also good for the environment, and create less trips with vehicles bringing oil in to power your current fleet of vehicles. Also, this easement existed before the homes were built. It was well known that it was there. I've reviewed all the documents. I've reviewed as many of the letters as we've received. I saw an email come in about 30 minutes before this meeting started with another letter. I'll be frank, I did not review that. I was driving home from work and got here, but I'll take a look at that later. I'll be frank, this is not really a close call. Not a close call for me on this one. El Niguel has a right to develop their property in the manner in which they are doing. The Planning Commission reviewed this, and I'll just note that our Planning Commission is excellent. Our Planning Commission is stacked with talent and expertise in this area, and we rely on them for advice on these issues, and they unanimously stated that El Niguel is within their right. They've checked all the boxes. This process right here, an appeal to the City Council of a Planning Commission decision, is a quasi-judicial process. We don't get to just choose a policy preference or what design we like better. As long as the property owner has done their due diligence, they've checked the boxes, they've received the approvals, they can do with the property what they see fit as long as it is within their right to do it. And so it seems like El Niguel has checked all of those boxes, and I'll be voting to affirm the Planning Commission's review of this project, and I'll be voting for the staff recommendation. And I just want to make one more note. The question was asked by Ms. Holbert why the city contacted Ms. Sukut, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, why the city contacted Ms. Sukut as the appellant. All of the letters that we have received were signed Paseo Street Safety Coalition with a Gmail address of Paseo Street Safety Coalition. We were not given any names of, okay, who is the leader of this group? And so I believe they contacted Ms. Sukut because she is the one who paid for the appeal, the $1,500 to do so. And so it was no disrespect to contact her. We just believed that she was the appellant, and that's why she was contacted, because we did not have information to the contrary. So I just want to note that as well. But I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and speaking on this issue. I'm going to vote to affirm the staff recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Winstead has one more follow-up.
Yeah, sorry. It's just, just as a matter of procedure, I did fail to state for the record that I did have some prior meetings. I did meet with Linda Sukut and some of her neighbors to tour the easement, and that was in April of 2024. So I'm very familiar with that property, and I've walked past it and spoken with those neighbors and had email correspondence with them. And also about monthly for the past year and a half, I've been meeting with a friend who lives off of Paseo del Campo. His backyard backs to El Niguel Country Club. He's one of the founding members of El Niguel Country Club. So the country club business operations, the easement and stuff have come up with regards to just in our conversations. So just wanted to make sure that that's clear and transparent for the record.
Thank you. We'll now go to Councilmember Stephanie Otto.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'd like to disclose also that I did tour the country club. I think they had a larger project that was on the horizon, but that didn't happen. And so I feel like I should disclose that I was there. I think you had a different manager at the time. I met with the manager, and we talked about that project. So I feel like I should disclose that. I have a couple questions, and then I'm going to make some comments of the staff. What new safety features are being employed at the site?
Thank you for the question, Councilmember Otto. The buildings, as Daniel mentioned in the presentation, will be made of metal, so more fire retardant naturally than the current buildings, and they will have automatic sprinklers. Additionally, as a part of OCFA's review, they have required the club to put in a new high-pressure water line with a hydrant.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. And OCFA has signed off on this, or they will be required to sign off on this at some point? Is that correct?
That OCFA did sign off on the review conducted as a part of this application, as well as the subsequent fire master plan that the club submitted to OCFA. So that's a more detailed review.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I understand as part of that process that OCFA doesn't actually write a review. They review a report that's already been made. Is that correct? To make sure that it is compliant.
Yeah, in the case of the fire master plan, which is sort of the final review document, they review a literal set of plans and stamp it approved.
Okay, thank you. So my comments are, I sympathize with the Paseo group, but I'm struggling to find the connection between improving the site and the easement. If the country club wants to improve their property, that is separate from the easement issue. I don't see the connection. I'm struggling to find that connection. So the city does not have authority to change the easement in any way. And it was settled in court at one point. And it's not for us to say whether the court got it right or not. We don't have that power to change that, unfortunately. This project is going to improve property in our city, right? It's going to improve the country club, which means it's going to improve the neighborhood, which means it's going to improve our city. It's going to be more fire safe. It's going to have a new fire hydrant, sprinklers, metal building, and I see that as a positive in our community. I see that as a really good thing. And El Niguel has stated they're not going to use the road for construction traffic, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate you all being good neighbors. So, you know, I just don't see the connection between the easement and the improvement on the land. So I'm going to deny the appeal. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilmember Kelly Jennings.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Thank you to everyone who has taken the time to be here this evening and participate. Your input matters and your engagement is truly appreciated. I want to begin but to express my appreciation for the level of engagement, we've seen from our community. Anytime we have a project that sits near neighborhoods or involves operational changes, it's natural that residents want to understand the impact and ensure their quality of life is protected. I've reviewed the materials thoroughly. I've listened carefully to the concerns raised throughout this process. For me, the most important questions are straightforward. Does this renovation improve safety and functionality? Does it reduce impacts to nearby residents? And does it ultimately serve the community well? From what I've seen, the proposal appears to modernize an aging facility, improve operational facility for the club, and bring the site to better compliance with current standards. The enhancement to landscaping, screening, and circulation patterns seem to address many of the issues that neighbors have raised over the years. I recognize that any change can bring uncertainty, and I appreciate those who spoke tonight to thoughtfully share both their support and concern. I also want to acknowledge the work of our planning commissioners and our staff who have dedicated significant time evaluating this project. Their analysis helps us make informed decisions, and I'm grateful for their diligence. So in saying all of that, I do approve the staff recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. And that is Mayor Pro Tem Kelly Jennings, not council member. Okay, I will finish up by simply stating that our planning commission does an outstanding job and has done an outstanding job on this site planning project. It comes down to three issues, and it's the easement. I don't see anything tied to the golf course replacement of the buildings with the easement in any way, shape, or form. The OCFA has reviewed and approved. I don't see any issues there as well. And CEQA, we are not changing the footprint and we're not removing any trees or anything else. I don't see any issues there. I appreciate you coming forward and bringing your concerns, but I truly believe that this is a good project and we should allow this to go forward. So with that, I will move on. Do I have a motion to approve the staff recommendations?
I move to approve the staff recommendation.
And do I have a second? We have Stephanie Otto. Thank you, council member. Please vote. And the motion carries 5-0. This concludes our public hearing on this item. Thank you. We are now adjourned at 6:49. Thank you and have a nice night.